Hello and welcome to a special Hug in the Snug today, because today is my 7 Days to Sustainability Challenge Day, waste and recycling. So who better to have in than the people who know all of our dirty secrets, the people who deal with both our waste and recycling. So Lucy, welcome.
Hi.
It's called Hug in the Snug for a reason, so we have to kick off with a hug if
Yeah,
you're
no,
okay.
I'm done with that.
Brilliant. So, waste and recycling. Going to start with waste.
Yeah.
So, first of all, just tell me, sort of 10 seconds with FirstMile. What do you do?
What do I do personally, or does the company
What does
do?
FirstMile do?
Okay, so we're a commercial recycling and waste company, so we deal with any waste that comes out of offices in central London and outer London and Birmingham as well.
Brilliant. All right, well, I'm going to be challenging you on that
That's
any
fine.
waste bit later. So we'll start with rubbish.
Yes.
So I know that rubbish goes in the black bags.
It does.
Black for rubbish.
Yes, it does.
So I put my rubbish in the bag, and then at the end of the week I put it out and you guys collect it
Yes.
at a time that is convenient to us,
Yes.
which is great. What happens next?
So it gets taken to an incineration facility in North London, in Belvedere. It's quite a new facility. We were going to landfill for a while because there was just no other option, there's no other facility. And it took years and years to build this incineration because it's a big, very, very, very multi-million pounds facility. And that finally opened at the beginning of last year.
Okay.
And what that means is that your waste does not go to landfill. Yeah, it's not, ruining the environment
That's
anyway.
really good to know.
It gets incinerated, and it's an energy from waste facility. So the energy created from that incineration gets turned into electricity and straight back into the grid.
So our waste, so every time I'm thinking, oh no, we're throwing things away, it's actually creating
It's actually just
clean
another
energy.
form of recycling in lots of ways. It's not as good as recycling. You probably heard of the waste hierarchy. So you start, the best thing you can do is reduce, so just not create the waste in the first place. The next is reuse, then recycle, and the absolute worst thing to do is landfill. Kind of in between that is energy from waste.
Good. All right. Well, that is a big relief, because
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so I'm very pleased to know that I can, if we need to, keep sending
You're
rubbish to you guys, and it's not
doing
destroying the planet.
The best thing you can do.
Good. All right. Load off. The next thing is recycling. This goes in the red bag.
Yes.
Red for great.
Yes, bread for really
Remember that one?
good.
Red for really good. Like that. Remember that. What happens to the recycling?
So the recycling gets picked up by the same guys. We have trucks that have partitions, so rubbish goes in one side, recycling goes in the other. Again, it's more efficient than sending one truck to you than two.
Good, yeah.
Obviously,
Reduce
your
fuel.
carbon
Good.
footprint and all that kind of thing. And it goes to a massive MRF, which is a mixed recovery facility in Bow, Brandon, called Bywaters, and it's the biggest one in the country. And they do mental, crazy stuff, and I'm going to take you because I think you need to go and see
Excited to
what
visit
happens.
them.
And if anybody wants to visit, you're more than welcome. I can arrange visits for everybody. Basically, the first thing that happens is it gets manually, the bags get ripped open by big machines onto a conveyor belt, and men kind of go through it and take out anything that is quite clearly not recyclable. So if somebody had tried to put a t-shirt in or something, really random, they'll take that out. And then basically on this conveyor belt, it's a bit like a Willy Wonka's factory, but like a recycling factory. And it goes on this conveyor belt through loads of different machines, literally just the machines picking out the different streams, so plastics, papers, metals, and then further, it goes even further to different types of plastic. So the way they separate the plastics is they put it through like what looks like a massive box, and they shoot a light at the plastic,
Cool.
and however the light refracts off the plastic, that tells the machine what type of plastic that is. And depending on the type of plastic, this is my favourite bit, it shoots some air underneath that plastic to pop it in the right box,
So like
essentially.
jets them all off. And
Jets
it
them
is
off.
like a Willy Wonka
Yeah,
factory, isn't it?
kind
I can imagine the noise, the sort of little
it's
tune
so
that goes with
noisy.
it.
It's so noisy in there, and it's a 24-hour facility, and it's not just us, it's councils, it's other commercial wastes. You're talking thousands and thousands of tons of recycling going through that facility every week, 24 hours a day.
Wow.
So
Super.
Yeah.
Recycle.
it's like
I think I'm going to have to visit them.
it's a transformer monster kind of thing.
Wow.
But yeah, so don't fear everything that goes in there, and even the stuff again that they pick out that can't be recycled, that goes to incineration. So even the stuff that they're picking out that can't be recycled isn't landfilling.
So nothing ever goes to landfill.
Goes zero to landfill.
Zero to landfill. I like that. So I want to ask a bit more about the separation and then make sure I'm doing my recycling right. But a more general question, in a sort of chat show phone-in way, I had a question when I posted that I was doing recycling from someone called Sarah who works at the MS Society. And she wrote to me saying that she's really into recycling, recycles everything at home, but at work she hasn't quite got everyone engaged in the process, and she'll sort of try and then people won't do things. So she wants to know what tips do we have. So I thought I'd ask you for getting people to recycle in the first place.
This is our biggest one of the things, because we deal with offices of all sizes. To someone with 2 people in, which is really easy to engage. Or, like we do, like the Capitol Radio building on Leicester Square, which is obviously 24 hours, hundreds of people, try and get them bothered. It's more challenging. But the thing that's really difficult to tackle is people's laziness, because it's almost like they're happy to do it at home, and then as soon as they come in, that's the same with the washing up, isn't it? You think, how do you live at home?
Like, do you not do your own
it's
washing up?
It's this weird kind of thing that people do when they go in the office and go, someone else will deal with it.
Okay.
So we have training sessions. We have a really great rollout manager, Brian, who will go around and do training sessions and presentations. Like I said, we can take people to Bywaters and engage them that way. But unfortunately, the best way to really stop people doing it is combat their laziness. And it's really about bins. If you have got a rubbish bin right next to someone's desk, they're going to put something in it.
Straight in there because it's right there.
Yeah. Even if it's a plastic thing, it's easier just to go.
Yeah.
So one of the things we do when we take on massive offices right away is reduce their waste bins.
So if they don't have a waste bin by the
they won't use it. Do you know what I mean?
So I suppose if you have to walk to the bin anyway, which is what we have, we have one recycling bin over in one part of the office, and then in the kitchen we have a recycling bin and a
waste bin.
So you usually kind of have to go there anyway. So then you can pick.
It's what we recommend is, in an office, everything you're throwing away at your desk is recyclable.
That's true. Yeah, you wouldn't have anything.
You wouldn't have anything unless you might have a banana peel or something. Just get off your bum and go to the.
Because also you don't want to put fruit in your office bin if it's there.
No, exactly. So the first thing we recommend is get rid of your general waste bags out of your actual work areas. Only have it where there's food and things being prepared, because in an office situation, there's going to be 1% of your waste is food, and everything else is going to be recyclable. And if you remove away that temptation of that bin of
and if people are doing
it's a really small, simple thing to do. It makes a massive difference with people. Just you have to combat their if you can't engage them
so you either get people
or emotionally. You have to just go, right, well, I'm taking that away from you.
That makes sense. And so if any office already uses FirstMile, or if they want to switch to FirstMile, they can, when they call up to say that, they could ask for someone to come in and help them set it all up.
Some people, if they haven't done it before, are completely like, I have no idea where I need to put this stuff, what I need. That's what we do. That's what we're experienced in. That's what my business development team do, my rollout team do, and I'm head of customer services. So once all that's done, I'm the person that looks after you, basically.
All right, feeling well looked after. So my next question was about an office more like ours, where everyone loves recycling, but we want to make sure we get it perfect because we're perfectionists. And everyone's suddenly decided that I might know what I'm talking about and keep saying, can I recycle this, can I recycle And I probably don't, so I'm going to ask you, so the next time people ask me, I know what to do. So one thing that always worries me is I was told sort of 2 things about recycling. One, that you have to wash everything out, because otherwise, I don't know, either it doesn't get recycled or something, so I'm making everyone scrub everything. And then I'm thinking, am I using more energy washing this than recycling?
No, that's a big myth.
Okay.
I think that comes from probably back in the 80s, 90s, where you actually did, when things were separated. As long as it hasn't, give it a good scrape, but you don't have to wash it, because when you actually think about what happens to that plastic in order to become new plastic, you kind of think, oh yeah, that's a bit silly, like I don't need to wash it, they're going to melt this down.
so at some point my bit of extra butter is going to get burnt off or something.
It's not going to cause
so kind of scrape it out so it's not full of your old lunch.
Don't stick it in half a sandwich in there, but
but we don't have to be quite so religious about washing and drying and carefully polishing everything. Okay, good to know. And the other thing I was told is that if you put something in your recycling bin that isn't recyclable, and they find it, then they'll just throw it all away. So then I get panicky. So I want to recycle everything, but if I'm not sure, then I worry maybe I'm doing more damage. Is that true?
You have to kind of take that with a pinch of salt. There is some truth to it in that if we take 2 tons of waste in one of the trucks and they can see that 10 of those bags are full of food, they will just tell us to turn around and take that 2 tons away, which is obviously upsetting because that's 2 tons of recycling that isn't going to get recycled. Or, I mean, it will in some ways because it will go to energy for waste, but not in as good a way. And also it's a waste of time and resources for us having to go from one side of London to the other, and then people call because their recycling is literally getting late picked up and things, you know. It all has a knock-on effect. However, there is a certain amount of contamination that Bywaters expects and will accept. So I think it's about 5%. So if you put a piece of toast in your recycling bag, it's not going to make a difference.
So if there's one thing I think is recyclable but I'm not quite sure, I'm not ruining everything by taking a chance of putting it in.
No, I mean, so much is recyclable these days. I would always say, if you're not sure, and if it's food, then no. But if you're not sure if it's paper or some type of paper plastic, better put it in because
it might get recycled, and if it can't, then they'll just take it off.
Just take it out.
Okay, so you take a chance on
recycling. I mean, it's not. It's come on. The technology has come on so much in the last 10 years that you're not going to, you know,
ruin the whole production line. That is good to know as well. So I can be as enthusiastic as I like.
Yeah.
Couple more things that I want to check. Plastic bags.
Yes.
We, as most people probably have in their house, have a large store of plastic bags under our sink because we don't want to throw them away, and we try not to use them. But there's always a chance when someone's, largely I bring them in from home with sandwiches and things. And I thought they weren't recyclable. I thought it's for a long time. But then I was looking on my the bin that you guys give us handily, and at the bottom where it says which plastics, and I noticed that there's a plastic 2 triangle. And on the bottom morning's bag there's a plastic 2 triangle. Am I totally wrong? Can I actually recycle?
You are totally wrong. And yes, you can recycle them.
So I can put all of my bags in my giant bag monster store.
If you kind of think about it logically, what do you think happens to the FirstMile bags?
They get recycled too.
Exactly.
That's good to know as well. Right, so you going in the recycling. Good.
Yes.
One thing ticked off. Another one, mixed paper and plastics.
Yes.
I know the paper is recyclable. Obviously, it depends on the plastic, and they don't always say, this one's from M&S and it says bag, paper recyclable, but they haven't explained to me about the plastic bit. Do I have to pull them apart? What,
it's fine.
So this can go in and they'll sort it out in the special facility. Okay, good. You're getting recycled too. This is fun. Light bulbs. So we have a series of light bulbs here. The first one is the old evil light bulbs. These were all in here when we arrived in the office, so they all came out straight away. This one's dead anyway, so I need to be able to recycle him. Also, energy savings, the ones that have burnt out, they're dead and need recycling, but also we're looking at getting LEDs for the whole office. We like to be at the forefront of technology. So we'll have sort of non-dead, but we'll either decide, do we take them home and use them, or can we recycle them? And then these little bulbs that go in our desk lamps. And I wish there was another option. But we spoke, to people who spy LEDs, and we haven't yet found one because these burn out all the time. So I'm building up a collection of tiny bulbs. Can you help us?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Wow, this is
a massive box.
Nice big box for us.
Yes. So we can recycle all your light bulbs, basically.
Brilliant.
We can recycle them using this box, essentially. So you fill the box
for the rest of time.
So you fill the box and then you give us a call and we'll come and take it away to the nice, correct facility. Exactly the same way we do with waste electronics, with toners and cartridges from your printers, your batteries, any kind of specialised stuff.
So basically anything we've got that we know can't go
in the mix.
So it doesn't say light bulb on our nice normal box or other specialised things, so I knew we couldn't put it in there. And it can't go in the bin, so that would be terrible. So basically anything I need to recycle, I can call you and say, can you recycle this?
To be completely honest, if you were really on it, you could do 100% recycling, because you would have all your electronics, bulbs, blah, 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 that batteries could go in one way, your DMI, your dry mix recycling goes there, and really the only thing that you're not recycling in a minute is food, and we offer a food recycling service as well.
This is new.
Yes, so that gets anaerobically digested,
Brilliant.
which basically means it goes in like a massive big stomach it gets digested.
Gas.
Yes, and it catches all the gas, and the gas is used to...
So another kind of clean
energy. An energy from waste service as well. So really, if you really wanted to do it, you could be 100% recycling.
So then, if we worked with you on everything, so we didn't let anything leave this office without you, then we could actually say that we were 100% recycling office and a zero waste to
You're already
landfill
zero
office.
to landfill.
We're already zero. I'm going to put that on the website straight away. And we could actually work on being 100%.
Exactly.
And I know you guys, you don't work with homes, but we could bring stuff from home into the office and get it in the box.
I mean, you're paying for the bags, you thought you wanted them.
Alright, so that's good to know. We can try to do, because at home, I've got a toaster and a kettle sat under the stairs, that what am I going to do with when I do something proper, so alright, good to know, very good to know. We can recycle everything, basically, that's the answer. Well, brilliant. A note to any clients or anyone who thinks we're going to be visiting us, we've got a large box for bulbs, so if anyone's got any bulbs that need recycling, please bring them when visiting the Life Size office.
It could take you a fair while.
It could take us a little while. It's a challenge. We're obviously not going to create new bulbs just to put in there, but we'll get there in the end. And really a note to everyone that whether you use FirstMile or a different company, these days, especially if you're based somewhere like London, there is no excuse to not be recycling everything. You don't need to be a throwaway office.
Nope.
All right, well that's my sustainability message of the day. Thank you so much for coming in and talking me through all of this. I feel much more on it and ready to spread the word.
Super green.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
No worries, thanks.